Welcome to Movies in the Making, everyone! If you would like to hear about how films were done behind the scenes, please like down below and subscribe to this channel. In today's episode, we are going to be looking at the 1985 surreal comedy film Better Off Dead, originally released by Warner Bros. And directed by Savage Steve Holland. Here, we shall dive deep into the story of the production of this film. This film was a passion project from its director and it took so much love and effort to create, so we shall now be looking at how the love and effort was put into this film. Now, sit back and enjoy the show. You are all in for a skiing ride! Savage Steve Holland came up with the idea for Better Off Dead shortly after college, inspired by a deeply personal and emotional period in his life. The story was largely autobiographical, based on his experience of being dumped by a girl for a skier and going through a rough, if darkly humorous, bout of heartbreak and depression. He began writing down absurd, failed suicide attempts and awkward teenage moments in a diary, which eventually formed the foundation of the film. Elements like the relentless paperboy demanding $2 were taken directly from his real life. For Holland, making the film was the most fun he had ever had, and while it was not initially a major hit, he was proud of how it later developed a cult following. Henry Winkler played a key role in helping the film get made. After seeing Holland's student short film My 11-Year-Old Birthday Party at the LA Film Festival, he reached out to Holland and expressed how funny he found it despite its sad subject matter. Winkler asked if Holland had more stories like that, which led Holland to write a script based on another personal experience, a painful high school breakup. Though Winkler's production company did not end up producing the film, he helped connect Holland with John Cusack and supported getting the screenplay into the hands of the right people during a time when studios were looking for quirky teen comedies following the success of Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Universal Pictures, 1982. Thanks in part to Winkler's support and connections, producer Michael Jaffe eventually picked up the project, setting the stage for Better Off Dead to become a cult classic. John Cusack landed the lead role of Lane Meyer in the film thanks to Holland's strong advocacy. After Winkler saw a short film by Holland, he gave him office space at Paramount Pictures to develop the script. Winkler had just worked with Cusack on The Sure Thing, MC Pictures, 1985, and showed Holland the film. Holland was immediately convinced Cusack was perfect for the role. Despite studio concerns over Cusack's recent nerdy role in 16 Candles, Universal Pictures, 1985, Holland fought to cast him, believing Cusack was a unique talent the studio did not yet fully appreciate. His persistence paid off and Cusack was finally cast. Cusack, however, came to regret being in the film. Though he was friendly with Holland during production and even participated in editing, his feelings drastically changed after seeing the final cut. While preparing to shoot One Crazy Summer, Warner Bros. 1986, Cusack walked out of a screening for Better Off Dead and told Holland the next morning that he hated him, felt tricked into being in it and never wanted to work with him again. Holland was devastated, comparing Cusack's rejection to the heartbreak that inspired the film itself. Though reviews later praised the film's humor, Cusack continued to distance himself from it, referring to Holland only as the director and criticizing the absurdist style. Despite this, Holland still admires Cusack's talents and feels the film remains one of the funniest things he has ever done. Curtis Armstrong was offered the role of Charles DeMar directly, without an audition. This was a rarity in his career at the time. When his agent told him a filmmaker named Savage Steve Holland had reached out, he thought it was a joke due to the unusual name. But after reading the script, Armstrong instantly connected with its absurd, offbeat humor. Holland had remembered Armstrong from his standout role as Miles in Risky Business, Warner Bros. 1983, and he felt he would be perfect as the quirky best friend character in Better Off Dead. Holland wanted someone who could bring the same comedic energy and charm to the role, and Armstrong's performance helped solidify the film's cult appeal. Aaron Dozier, who played the arrogant ski jock Roy Stalin, made an immediate impression when we first met Holland, albeit unintentionally. When he arrived on set, unaware of who Holland was, Dozier pointed at him and asked, "Who's the fat surfer?" not knowing he was speaking to the director. Holland found the comment so obnoxiously fitting for Stalin's character that he cast Dozier on the spot. While filming, Dozier was actively involved in shaping scenes, particularly improvising dialogue for the school dance, including a memorable line suggesting Armstrong's exaggerated laughter. Offset, Dozier and Cusack took their ski training into their own hands, racing down mountains before production officially began, much to the alarm of the crew, who worried about injuries delaying the film. Yuji Okumoto was cast after casting director Caro Jones contacted him for a role that required a Howard Cosell impression. Although he initially said he could do it, he immediately began studying Cassell's broadcast for a week to prepare. At his audition, he performed the impression with an added Asian accent, aligning with the film's backstory that his character, Yi-Suk Ri, learned English by watching ABC's Wide World of Sports. His audition impressed the filmmakers and he landed the part. Although his performance was later dubbed over by famous impressionist Rich Little to ensure audience clarity, Okumoto still occasionally gets asked to do the Cosell voice impression and happily obliges. On set, he described Holland as energetic, open-minded, and fun, which created a playful atmosphere that made the film experience enjoyable. Okumoto finally recalls the quirky tone of the film and is still recognized for the role by fans who appreciate its cult classic status. Better Off Dead was filmed primarily throughout Southern California, with many scenes shot in and around Los Angeles. Meyer's home is located in 1636 Virginia Avenue in Glendale, directly across the street from the Smiths' house at 1633 Virginia Avenue. School scenes were filmed at two different high schools. Verdugo Hills High School in Tujunga served as the main campus, while the school dance was shot at Clark Magnet High School in Glendale. The Big Burgers restaurant was filmed at 6223 Lancashire Boulevard in North Hollywood. Joanne's house, where another key scene takes place, is located at 901 West Kensington Road in Los Angeles. The scene where Meyer attempts to jump off a bridge is the South Avenue 60 bridge near Herman Park. Several of the film's action-packed chase scenes were filmed on North Baldwin Avenue in Sierra Madre, a street also used in numerous horror films like The Fog, MC Pictures, 1980, Halloween 2, Universal Pictures, 1981, and Return of the Living Dead Part 2, Lorimar Productions, 1988. Other sequences were shot along North San Fernando Road in Burbank near McCain Bridge Park, where the production often bouncing between these locations. Though not a major location in the film, Dodger Stadium briefly appears and has nostalgic significance for the director, who later attended a Madonna concert there. The film includes a brief but memorable scene where Meyer draws a cartoon of his ex-girlfriend that suddenly comes to life and mocks him in the school cafeteria. This animated sequence, though not central to the plot, perfectly reflects the film's surreal and cartoonish tone. The animation was created by Bill Kopp, who later collaborated with Holland to create Fox Kids' 1992 cartoon Eek! The Cat, and also animated the iconic Whammies from CBS's 1983 game show Press Your Luck. Kopp's work adds a unique layer to the film's offbeat style, blending live action with animation in a way that resonated deeply with fans and helped cement the film's cult status. The iconic claymation hamburger scene was inspired by Holland's own experience working at McDonald's and originally involved a scrap gag about a fried rat. When the idea was deemed too gross, Holland drew inspiration from Jimmy Picker's claymation short Sunday in New York, and decided to animate a burger instead. Set to Van Halen's Everybody Wants Some, which Holland cleverly tied to the burger joint slogan, the surreal sequence features Lane imagining himself as Frankenstein-like scientist bringing a burger to life, who then shreds on a tiny Eddie Van Halen guitar and flirts with a female burger. Though the studio was initially concerned the scene was too bizarre, test audiences loved it, hence why it was kept in the film. Diane Franklin shared that she was at Dodger Stadium with her family when she noticed movie clips being shown on the big screen and wondering why they had not featured Better Off Dead, which was briefly filmed there. He asked her then manager to reach out to the stadium about possibly doing something related to the film, like a clip or autograph signing. When he called, the stadium was not interested in a signing, but surprisingly asked if she would like to sing the national anthem even though they did not know if she could even sing. When she called them back, she eagerly accepted, though there was initial confusion over whether she would sing the American, Canadian, or French anthem. Ultimately, she sang the American anthem but was amused that they introduced her simply as Diane Franklin, with no mention of any of her film roles. She found it funny and surreal, especially since celebrities like Tom Hanks and prominent directors were in the audience, which made the experience even more memorable. As of 2025, the film is now owned by Paramount Pictures through CBS. It was produced by CBS Theatrical Films at a time where Gulf Plus Western, the then owner of Paramount, and then named CBS Enterprises were completely separate. In 2000, Paramount merged with then-named CBS Corporation but then separated in 2006 before reuniting in 2019. As part of the latter merger, Paramount has acquired most films produced by CBS, including all CBS theatrical films distributed by rival studio Warner Bros., including Better Off Dead. It also acquired all films produced by Cinema Center Films, including Little Big Man, National General Pictures, 1970, as well as the Oscar-winning film My Fair Lady, Warner Bros., 1964. As of the 10th of August 2025, Better Off Dead has a 77% critic scoring on Rotten Tomatoes, a 51 out of 100 critic score on Metacritic, a 7.1 rating on IMDb, and a 3.5 rating on Letterboxd. The film's budget was $3.5 million and it grossed over $10 million following its initial release on the 23rd of August 1985. And that wraps up our deep dive into the making of Better Off Dead. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to stay updated on all things movies in the making. Let us know in the comments what you think of Better Off Dead, or if you have any theories for a film we should not touch upon, or films you would like to hear covered on this channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. This will be the last film I will be covering for a long while, as I am going off to a university to study. I might be back within a year, but I appreciate you all for liking, subscribing, and giving your suggestions. It has been a pleasure working for you, and even having a channel on YouTube in the first place. This has been Jason Scotchmer, film enthusiast and passionate about the arts.